Hey everyone! Welcome back to Switch Mania, where we bring you the latest and greatest deals in the gaming world. Clarence here, and today I am so excited to share with you the top bargain games on the Nintendo Switch Eshop sale. If you're looking to add some new games to your collection without breaking the bank, then you're in the right place. But before we get started, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos about the latest gaming news and deals. So what are we waiting for? Let's dive right into it. KUNAI is a charming and fun roguelike game that, while not particularly innovative, stands out with its unique weapon combinations and pixel art style. As the player takes on the role of the Chosen One, a computer tablet tasked with saving the world from a tyrannical overlord, they must navigate through levels filled with enemies and platforming challenges using the eponymous KUNAI, which act as a dual-wielded grappling hooks. While the beginning levels are slow and easy, the game quickly picks up pace and provides a satisfying challenge, with checkpoints that appear just when the player feels like giving up. The pixelated art style and upbeat music add to the game's charm, and the unique weapon combinations add a layer of strategy to each run. However, the game's repetitive nature and backtracking to reach the next area may diminish its replayability. Nevertheless, KUNAI is a lovely looking game that fits well on the Nintendo Switch, and is a great addition to the console's growing selection of roguelikes. Ys Origin by Nihon Falcom is an action RPG game that has stood the test of time, and is just as fun to play on the Nintendo Switch today as it was when it was first released. The game's momentum is what makes it work, and the gameplay is familiar yet engaging, with escalating design introducing stronger enemies and environmental hazards to keep players on their toes. Leveling up is a powerful feature in Ys Origin, which makes grinding for experience to increase damage output a total blast. The game is incredibly easy to get to grips with, and has an accessible difficulty level, making it a friendly choice for RPG beginners. The graphics are attractive but a little dated, while the soundtrack is excellent, perfectly matching the fast-paced gameplay. Although the game may be short for hardcore RPG fans with just 7 hours needed to complete, Ys Origin is still an easy recommendation to anyone interested in RPGs, and remains a solid choice for those who love action RPGs. Young Souls is a beat-em-up game that is surprisingly story-driven, making for a more rounded experience. The game follows the story of twin orphans, Tristan and Jen, who set out on a journey to save their professor who has gone missing. The game has a non-linear system of level progression, giving players agency to make progress on their own terms. The game has different difficulty levels to scale up or down depending on the player's skill level. Combat in the game is technically advanced, with an interesting tag system to encourage players to use both twins. The game has a high skill ceiling, with a variety of ways to approach battles, including the use of different weapons which carry their own stats, special moves, and passives. Overall, Young Souls is a quality release that builds well on the foundations of the genre with well-implemented ideas, making it a rewarding experience that players won't want to miss. Tribute Games' Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge is a superb scrolling beat-em-up game bursting with nostalgia and set to a sterling soundtrack. The game is a tribute to Konami's 1989 arcade release, which was famous for its sound effects and catchy intro sequence. However, Tribute Games has outdone itself by cramming the 16-stage brawl with a broad compendium of bad guys and utilizing excellent visuals such as crammed comedic elements, gorgeously rendered backgrounds, and adorable sprite designs bursting with character. The game boasts 7 playable characters, including fan favorite Casey Jones, who deals out significant damage with his golf clubs. The control scheme is easy to learn, and it never becomes overly complex, with the ability to use different types of devastating super attacks. Players can dash, slide, double jump, and drop kick in 2 different ways, as well as enact standard tap combos. The combat is flawlessly taught, which results in a flamboyant and raucous turtle scrum where players can barrel fearlessly into enemy hordes and dodge roll through explosives. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge is without a doubt the best turtle scrolling beat-em-up ever. Blazing Chrome is a must-play game for fans of the classic Contra series. Developed by Joy Masher, this 2D run-and-gun action title feels so authentic that it could easily be mistaken for a re-release of an early 90s game. Set in a post-apocalyptic world, you play as a band of soldiers fighting against machines that are trying to wipe out humanity. The gameplay is the star of the show, with full automatic machine guns and range of weapons and tools to choose from, each with its own unique feel and purpose. The levels are varied, and the boss battles are are spectacular, with designs reminiscent of classic Contra titles. The game also nails the retro aesthetic, with character designs inspired by franchises like Terminator and Aliens. However, the game's brutal difficulty may not be for everyone. If you're up for the challenge though, Blazing Chrome is one of the most accomplished 2D action titles in years. Wonder Boy: The Dragon's Trap, a popular game that was originally released in 1989, has been reimagined by French studio Lizard Cube, who are self-confessed hardcore fans of the original. The game combines platform action with a non-linear structure and RPG overtones, foreshadowing the Metroidvania subgenre. Players assume the role of Wonder Boy and must explore a massive game world to track down the remaining dragons to unlock Wonder Boy's transformations, including Mouseman, Piranha Man, and Hawkman. The ultimate objective is the acquisition of the Salamander's Cross, the only item which can lift the shape-shifting curse. The game includes gear gating approach, which was revolutionary for 1989, and the fact that each transformation has special abilities which allow it to reach certain areas made the concept even more interesting. The changes made to the game, including the gorgeous hand-drawn visuals and the painstakingly recreated soundtrack using instruments such as the violin, guitar, oboe, and mandolin, enhance the experience massively. The game can be played in its original 8-bit format with 60 FPS widescreen and can also apply CRT-style scanlines for a truly authentic feel. The game's password system, a throwback to the days when battery backup save data wasn't always the norm, has been retained, while the game has an autosave and 3 save slots per user. Heaven Dust 2 is a bone-chilling survival horror game that brings the genre back to its roots with clever puzzles and gameplay that forces players to conserve ammo and items. The world design is outstanding, featuring intricate environments with many hidden goodies and contraptions that players can't do anything with, making exploration a joy. The combat is simple yet rewarding, with enough room for strategy, and players can upgrade their weapons by equipping accessories and combining inventory items. The atmosphere is spot on with dark, detailed environments and a quiet soundscape that makes zombie moan really pop. The sound effects are fantastic, making shooting zombies incredibly satisfying. The campaign structure is rewarding, and the intuitive combat that requires some strategy makes it stand out. The game's only downside is that some zombies can be hard to spot, and backtracking can be tedious. Overall, Heaven Dust 2 is an authentic old-school survival horror game that's incredibly rewarding to play. It's the most amount of fun players can have with a survival horror game in decades. Candleman is a platformer with a unique twist, as you play as a candle with the ability to burn its wick at will, illuminating your path in a series of levels split into chapters. The game's atmosphere is mysterious and beautiful, with minimal sources of light creating a dark and eerie environment. The gameplay and visuals are reminiscent of Little Nightmares, with flashes of vibrant light and abstract shapes, making the game a pleasure to behold. Although the game offers various puzzles, it's an incredibly easy experience with very little replayability. Candleman is a relaxing and engaging game, perfect for those who are looking for a more casual gameplay experience. The levels are varied and the light effects are excellent, making the game a worthy addition to your Switch library. Overall, Candleman is an enjoyable platformer with gorgeous visuals that will keep you entertained for several hours. DISTRAINT Deluxe Edition is a 2D horror adventure game that tells a dark and emotional story about a young man named Bryce, who works for a real estate company and is tasked with evicting people from their homes. As the story progresses, Bryce begins to experience psychological breakdowns and faces the consequences of his actions. The game is highly story-driven and the gameplay is simple, with the player mostly walking from point A to point B and solving puzzles along the way. The aesthetics of the game are impressive, with spooky settings, creepy music, and awesome visual effects that create an eerie atmosphere. Despite the short gameplay time of 2 to 3 hours, the game is definitely worth checking out for those who enjoy psychological thrillers and spooky stories. The only downside is the ending, which is tragic and leaves the players with no reason to replay the game. Overall, DISTRAINT Deluxe Edition is a great game for those looking for a creepy and emotionally charged experience. Cygames, the developer behind mobile games such as Grand Blue Fantasy, Shadowverse, and Dragalia Lost, is also the developer for Little Noah Scion of Paradise. The game, which has been repurposed from the failed Clash of Clans clone, Battle Champs, is a roguelite action game that feels great to play. The story follows Noah, an alchemist captain who is stranded after her airship crashes just outside Shifting Ruins. Noah meets a snarky amnesiac cat and a creepy villain called Grey, who have a connection to her lost father, and she sets out on an adventure to save the cat and learn about her father's disappearance. The game plays out as a cuter take on Dead Cells, where players explore 2D levels, fight enemies, and collect gold and other useful drops. There is a live action system where players use Lilliputs, which are Pokemon-like creatures that attack enemies. Little Noah is a fantastic game that has excellent gameplay, occasional interactions between characters that keep things lighthearted, and a strategy element that goes into deciding the order to arrange Lilliputs. The game is easy to play and perfect for anyone looking for an action-heavy roguelite game. Long Live the Queen is a visual novel and political sim where players are in the shoes of Elodie, the princess of Nova, who must be trained up to become a queen in time for her coronation when she hits the age of 15. However, there are obstacles in her way such as betrayal, civil wars, assassinations, invasions, and magic, which can lead to her sudden demise. Players must make decisions to overcome these challenges while managing her mood, classes, and weekend activities. Long Live the Queen features a cutesy and unassuming design, but the game is contextually and mechanically tough. Its gameplay loops tend to be monotonous and repetitive due to its simple formula, but there are a lot of interesting information pieces in the background. There are countless amounts of smallest of variations in its dialogue, events, and encounters, meaning that there is a variety of approaches players can take when achieving victory to see its bonus section appear. Long Live the Queen packs a lot of content, with its many epilogues, deaths, and achievements to discover, with each one building up its world that gradually unravels and opens up details about its past and present at every given opportunity when players find the key to unlocking these new tidbits of information. Gleylancer, a 16-bit shoot-'em-up game, has returned in a retrostatic physical form, offering a shockingly thorough package. The game includes multiple emulation options such as scan lines, shadow mask, and screen edge curvature, and allows for fine-tuning the intensity of the effects. It also features a full English translation, instant mover swapping, free directional fire, and the ability to rewind the action with just a button press in modern mode. Additionally, a cheaters mode is available for those who want to use it, granting access to the classic level skipping and invincibility toggling cheat menu. Gleylancer's use of parallax scrolling adds speed and excitement to its varied 11 stages, which range from icy depths to asteroid fields. The movers, the floating gun turrets that follow the player's ship, behave differently from one another and have a direct impact on how the player tackles enemies and bosses. The game is as fresh and thrilling as ever and can be as forgiving or challenging as the player wants it to be. Underhero is an indie game that boasts a fascinating premise and an execution greatly bolstered by witty writing that borrows from the Undertale's playbook. You take on the role of a minion as you navigate 2D worlds and platform your way through various obstacles, all while picking up occasional upgrades and coins along the way. The game feels like a mixture between a Metroidvania and a Paper Mario game, with a solid feedback loop of continual power growth fostered by exploration. Gameplay is based on deftly timing your button presses, with correct presses rewarding you with better outcomes. Each enemy has different strengths and weaknesses, along with a variety of tells that telegraph what attack is coming next, which makes for a combat system that stays enjoyably dynamic no matter where you are in the story. Underhero is a light-hearted and engaging experience that encourages you to play further just to see what other off-the-wall scenarios and characters you came across. 1979 Revolution Black Friday is an impressive game that manages to capture the complex Iranian Revolution in just 2 hours. The game is set just days before the Black Friday massacre, which marked a tragic turning point in the Iranian Revolution, when the army opened fire on a crowd, leaving several dozens of civilians dead in Tehran's Jali Square. The game introduces players to the revolution through the eyes of a young photographer, Reza, who is roped in a circle of revolutionaries by his friend Babak. The game keeps players hooked with its interesting cast of characters, impressive performances, and a respectful mix of drama and telltale game-style quick-time event action. The game also delivers an engaging history lesson, exploring the hope, passion, danger, secrecy, and tragedy of the real Iranian Revolution, which is a fascinating time and place to set a story. Overall, 1979 Revolution Black Friday is an excellent game that treats its subject with care and respect, making it a must-play for anyone interested in the Iranian Revolution or historical games. Scion of the Sojourner is a narrative-driven deck-building game where players take on the role of a young merchant. The players must journey to various towns on the map and engage in conversations with non-playable characters to learn about the world and their mother's past. The game uses deck-building mechanics to have conversations play out, and matching the symbols on the cards create a chain conversation. Each conversation allows for a certain amount of failed chains to occur, which makes the conversation turn sour, and the complete failure of a conversation means information is lost to the player. As the player travels further and further away from home, their deck begins to be overhauled. Mechanically, it's beneficial to start replacing the original symbols with newer ones, as it makes conversation in other areas more likely to succeed. Narratively, it shows the main character changing over time as they interact with other groups of people. Despite a few key shortcomings, Scion of the Sojourner is an innovative and memorable game with profound and unexpected narrative effects that players will enjoy for years to come. Hey everyone, if you are enjoying the video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out an update from our channel. YouTube analytics shows that 82% of our viewers are not subscribed yet, so subscribing really helps support our channel and lets us keep making content that you love. Also, feel free to leave a comment below and let us know what you thought of the games we featured in this video. We love hearing your feedback and suggestions for future content. Thanks again for watching, and let's get back to the video. Bleed is a fantastic pixel art 2D run-and-gun platformer developed by one-man team Ian Campbell, also known as Boot Disc Revolution. The game follows the story of Rin, a spunky protagonist who aims to become the best hero in video games by taking down her 7 rivals. The game is split into well-designed stages with a mix of platforming, gunplay, and mini-bosses. The game offers 4 difficulty settings at the beginning of each stage, and a witty mission briefing that sets up the impending duel. The controls may take some time getting used to, but the game offers various loadouts that can be switched on the fly to adapt to different situations. The game also features an ever-changing alphabetical ranking system, making it challenging to achieve the elusive S rank. Bleed is light-hearted and fun, with plenty of humorous exchanges between Rin and her wacky competitors. The game does a great job of balancing finesse and firepower, providing a satisfying experience for players who can nimbly navigate platforms while taking out groups of enemies. The game also offers new characters to unlock and an arcade challenge mode for high-score hunters. While the game may be light on content and rough around the edges, it's still a sassy, funny ride that deserves your attention. Bleed 2 is a thrilling twin-stick shooter that takes about an hour to beat but offers a ton of replayability. The game is set in a world where the protagonist Rin is the only hero left to fight off an alien horde that threatens the Earth. The gameplay involves using Rin's katana to slash and guns to shoot bullets. The right trigger makes Rin jump, and tapping it again in the air will cause her to dash. The left trigger enables players to slow down time temporarily. The game has 7 levels filled with set pieces after set piece, which never fails to impress with its spectacle. The game offers 4 difficulty levels, but it's best enjoyed when played on the hardest difficulty. Completing a level results in being rated based on style, time, and damage taken, which offers great replay value. Beating the game on harder difficulties unlocks new weapons and abilities to replace your guns, katana, and air dash, and new playable characters with their own unique gameplay styles. The graphics are colorful, comic book-like, and the soundtrack is characterized by high tempo, powerful riffs, which adequately accompany the action on screen. The game is a must-play for arcade-style game enthusiasts. Severed Steel is a fantastic addition to the genre of games where you play as a solo badass fighting endless amounts of enemies. With great movement and gunplay, the game nails the feeling of an action movie. The minimalist storyline isn't much of a problem because the real meat of the game is the gameplay, with 42 stages ranging from finding specific elements to surviving waves of enemies. The game is difficult but satisfying, with enemies that are relentless and really challenge you to think about what routes to take through every level. The game's stunt system consists consists of dives, wall runs, and slides, with slow motion coming in handy to make the most of the action. Due to your missing appendage, you're unable to reload your guns, which means you have to adapt quickly to every situation to make it out alive. The game runs near flawlessly on Switch, and the fantastic soundtrack, firefight mode, and unlockable mutators add extra game time. The only drawback are the lack of gyro aiming and load times that are just long enough to be frustrating. Overall, Severed Steel is a must-play game for fans of the genre. Don't Die Mr. Robot is a simple but highly addictive game where you play as Mr. Robot, a 2D square who eats exploding fruit while avoiding waves of enemies. The game's mechanics are easy to learn, but the addition of risk-reward and multiplier mechanics keeps the gameplay engaging and challenging. The game offers several modes, including Arcade, Time Attack, and Remix, which provides new ways to play the game. The Chill Out mode is a unique addition that slows down the game's music and enemies, providing a more relaxed experience. The game's visuals and music are reminiscent of classic arcade games, adding to its nostalgic appeal. In-game currency rewards encourage replay value, allowing players to purchase customizations and power-ups for Mr. Robot. Overall, Don't Die Mr. Robot is a fun and addictive game that offers a lot of content for its price. It's perfect for both short play sessions and extended gaming sessions, and the Chill Out mode provides a relaxing way to unwind. Although the game is a solo experience, it's still an excellent addition to any gamer's library. A Musical Story is a rhythm game from Gleylancer Studio that takes a unique approach to gameplay, focusing on listening instead of reading. With a stunning 1970s inspired color palette and funky prog rock vibes, the game takes players on a musical journey as they guide a band to a festival, encountering love and trippy adventures along the way. The game is structured into story episodes that flow seamlessly through animations and rhythm sequences, with a stylish visual presentation that focuses on a small area for the interactive sections before filling the screen with bursts of colors. The musical score is a horseshoe shape, with notes running anti-clockwise and players must parrot back the notes they hear. While the visual interface can be frustrating, the game rewards perseverance and repeated plays, and the soundtrack is excellent and seamless. The animations are beautiful and humorous, and the game's emphasis on listening over reading creates a genuine musicality to the Simon Says instructions. Overall, A Musical Story is a fantastic game that will appeal to rhythm game fans and anyone who loves music. Slayaway Camp Butcher's Cut is a fun and nostalgic isometric puzzle game developed by Blue Wizard, paying homage to 80s horror movies. Players take control of Skullface, a machete-wielding psychopath on a mission to end the lives of camp counselors in a comical and gruesome way. The voxel art adds appeal to the fun and snappy deaths, with a generous selection of randomized deaths that come with entertaining mini cutscenes. The game is full of nods to the 80s era, and there are even comical references to famous slasher franchises. The formula of the game ramps up with each completed movie, with SWAT teams and other elements thrown into the mix, making it challenging yet entertaining. The game also includes in-game collectibles, coins, skins, and mysterious loot boxes, with the option to purchase hints and quick walkthroughs. With cute graphics, addictive gameplay, and silly murder sequences, Slayaway Camp Butcher's Cut is a fantastic game for horror movie enthusiasts and puzzler fans alike. Letter Quest Remastered is a turn-based spelling game that combines elements of an RPG and a spelling bee competition. The game involves players slaying monsters, ghosts, and bunnies with their knowledge of language and efficient skill upgrades. The game is made up of 40 levels that need to be beaten 4 times each, totaling 160 in all. There is also an endless mode where players fight through as many monsters as possible before being wiped out. The game is fun and provides a challenge, as opponents can attack spelling tiles as well as players' health, and there are specific requirements such as only taking damage from 4-letter words or taking double damage from words containing 2 vowels. The game also offers an in-game shop where players can buy upgrades for their starting health, base damage, base defense, and more. The game looks and sounds lovely, with character models in crisp and clear cartoon-like designs, and the letter tiles are customizable. The only issue is that button presses aren't always registered when players move between buttons quickly. Overall, Letter Quest Remastered is a great game for anyone looking for a fun and challenging spelling game. Valfaris, a side-scrolling action platformer game, is a glorious homage to Contra, Turrican, and Mega Man of the 90s era. Developed by Steel Mantis, this game is a vast improvement from their previous title, Slain Back from Hell. You play as Tyrion, a grizzled warrior with a wolf-shaped spaceship who crashes onto the alien world of Valfaris, seeking revenge on his father. Valfaris, once a citadel of his homeworld, now lies in ruin and has become an alien nightmare. This game is a throwback to the 90s era, where levels were fast, frenetic, and challenging. The controls are responsive, but there are occasions where inputs do not register, leading to frustrating moments. The game offers a series of basic swords with their stats and increasingly powerful guns. The gunplay is gloriously meaty, but the mapping of the face buttons can lead to a noticeable delay when interchanging between weapons. The lack of a dodge button makes dodging attacks more a matter of luck than strategy, but the shield helps improve your defensive capability. The game offers a smart resurrection idle system that works well when the game is not trying to be too difficult. The checkpoints have been confidently addressed, and collecting tokens for health and spirit bars can make all the difference. Valfaris is a fun, fast-paced action platformer game that offers a satisfying experience for fans of the 90s era of gaming. AngerForce Reloaded is a vertically scrolling shooter game set in an alternative 19th century where machines are rebelling against their human creators. The game is presented in two main modes, Arcade and Campaign. Arcade mode allows players to select one of 4 characters, each of which has different attributes and special attacks, and try to make it to the end of the game's 7 stages. The Campaign mode can be played in local co-op with a friend and offers an enhanced difficulty level. Players begin with weak attributes but can collect special glowing orbs that give points to be spent on upgrades to increase shot power, health, and bomb stock. These enhancements are persistent and carry over between sessions, giving players a better chance of success in the next game. The ability to undock the Switch Joy-Con and play the console in portrait or Tate mode adds to the gameplay, providing a much better view of the on-screen action. Overall, AngerForce Reloaded's inventiveness in gameplay and setting, its persistency, and upgrade system make it a fun and enjoyable shooter game. Joggernauts is a fun and colorful game that challenges players to match colors and navigate obstacles in a continuously moving queue of characters. With 9 characters to choose from and 3 worlds to explore, the game provides plenty of replayability and options for customization, such as adjusting the speed and checkpoint frequency. The game is designed for local multiplayer and is a great option for parties or gaming with friends, although single-player mode is also available. While the gameplay can be frustrating at times, it provides a sense of satisfaction when a level is completed. The coordination required between players adds to the challenge and enjoyment of the game. The graphics and animations are playful and engaging, adding to the overall experience. Collecting trophies on each level provides an additional layer of challenge and rewards players for mastering the game's mechanics. Overall, Joggernauts is a great party game that will provide players with hours of fun and laughter as they work together to overcome obstacles and match colors. Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion is a charming action RPG that takes inspiration from classic Legend of Zelda titles. As the eponymous Turnip Boy, players undertake various quests to pay off their massive debt to Mayor Onion. The game's tax evasion aspect takes a backseat to gameplay, which mostly consists of classic RPG tropes, such as collecting items and completing puzzles. Players gain new abilities and items as they progress through the game, which are utilized remarkably well. The game's outstanding tone and dialogue shine through, with a wide cast of characters comprising different fruits or vegetables. The writing is consistently strong and amusing, though some may find the modern dialect and social media references to be off-putting. While the gameplay may not be as top tier as some other ARPGs, Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion is a delight with excellent pixel visuals bursting with color and personality. The game's accessibility options are inclusive, and there are even options to boost attack power and toggle God mode for more casual gamers. If you're looking for a cheerful and breezy palette cleanser, Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion is a great choice. Blue Fire is an excellent platform game that manages to blend elements from various other games while still creating its own identity. It is an old-school 3D action-adventure game that tests your reflexes and platforming skills while providing a great sense of exploration. The game features extensive platforms and short platforming challenges that are reminiscent of Super Mario Sunshine, as well as fighting and fetching tasks that are similar to Darksiders series. The combat is the weakest aspect of the game, but it still provides a fun challenge with low difficulty. The controls feel liberating with a dash move that covers a lot of ground, and customization plays a significant role with upgrades and new abilities to aid your traversal. The game's aesthetic is ethereal and unusual, reminiscent of the darker scenes in Studio Ghibli films, and character designs are appealing with fun writing to enhance NPC encounters. The game is challenging but not unfair, and the graphics are clear and appealing. While the performance can be flaky, it does not significantly affect gameplay. Blue Fire is an excellent experience overall, providing an immersive world that rewards the more you play and the better you get. Cyberhook is a first-person platformer that gives the player a hookshot-like device, enabling them to quickly attach and detach from platforms. With a freedom arcade gameplay, it follows the plot of a character navigating through a series of detached levels to escape a cyberspace-like environment, all the while being guided by a robotic companion who warns them to avoid them. The game rates the players on a 3-star scale for their time, making it up to the player to decide their route through the level, resulting in the game's free-form exploration. The hookshot is versatile and allows players to attach to platforms that seem unusable at first glance. Different abilities such as breaking green blocks and slowing down time to aim their hook add variety to the gameplay. The graphics are minimalistic and beautiful, making it well optimized for the Nintendo Switch. With integrated online leaderboards, the game encourages players to perfect their scores and find new routes throughout the levels. Cyberhook's open level design makes exploration fun, giving players a satisfying feeling after completing each level. Its short levels are perfect for pick-up and play moments. Overall, Cyberhook is a blast to play, and the optimized performance make it a joy to play from beginning to end. Moero Crystal H is a dungeon crawler game with monster girls as playable characters. The game features a ridiculous narrative with the main goal of saving the world from the judge. While the game revels in sexuality, the game's cast takes everything seriously, making the game more entertaining. Each playable character has an elemental affinity, and hitting enemy weaknesses causes an aura combo. The game has an erotic method bonus attack that is themed after the Sijo Hate. Xenox's role in combat is to store energy, release it, or manipulate the turn order, with each turn carrying a risk of Xenox's passion exploding. Players can chat with the monster girls in their in-rooms, give gifts, or play the loving scratch minigame to build their affection. The 80 recruitable monster girls have various scenes that help add personality to the characters. Each girl has 3 dungeons that players can unlock through a shoot-'em-up minigame. The game has excellent characterization, witty writing, and Japanese voice acting, making it an entertaining dungeon crawler. Trigger Witch is an adventure RPG and twin-stick shooter game that successfully combines these genres to create a likable and humorous experience. The game follows Colette, an aspiring witch who joins a revered group of gun-wielding witches to protect the realm. The story is well written and has genuine weight, with good character development. The gameplay involves exploring different biomes, with varying weather patterns and using a growing arsenal of guns to wipe out enemies and obstacles. The twin-stick mechanics work well, and the game's accessibility options are impressive, allowing players to customize difficulty setting and turn off gore for a more family-friendly experience. While the gameplay starts off strong, it can become repetitive and samey after a while, and the dungeons require players to wipe out all enemies in one area before progressing, which can lead to lengthy sessions of scouring every inch of a dungeon. The scrolling shoot-'em-up sections are a nice surprise but lack variety. Overall, Trigger Witch is a fun and entertaining game with good visuals, smooth controls, and interesting characters. While it may not reach the level of some of its contemporaries in the shooting genre, it offers a unique experience that is worth checking out. And that's it for our video on the top bargain games on the Nintendo Switch Eshop sale. We hope you found some great deals that you can't wait to play. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any future gaming deals. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.